We heard earlier in the program that something called cohabitation, or cohabitation perhaps in English, which came out of France's Fifth Republic. Now, given today's two candidates for presidency in France, what determines such a situation of cohabitation?
So the cohabitation is a situation when you have a president who has been elected by the people as a clear majority, but cannot find a parliamentary majority to back his policies. And in that case, the president hasn't got all the powers. What a president finds in the following parliamentary election, which follow the presidential election, so in 1 month's time, on the 18th of June, he'll know how many, or she will know how many MPs are backing her. If the president has a majority, then the president of France is probably the most powerful head of government in the world. He can do almost everything. If it's not the case, if he finds himself with a parliamentary majority opposed to him, as has been the case already in France, we've already had 3 examples of that, then he cannot call the shots in terms of government policy, except in 2 areas, which is the field of defense and foreign policy. We've had this situation, for example, in 1986, when Mitterrand was president, but the parliamentary election of 1986 gave majority to the right, and therefore he was obliged to appoint the leader of the parliamentary majority as prime minister. So he was obliged to govern with Jacques Chirac, who was his opponent, and was his opponent in the following presidential election. When Jacques Chirac was elected in 1995, he decided to call elections in 1997, which led to the election of a socialist government. He was obliged to govern with a socialist prime minister from 1997 to 2002. So when the prime minister is responsible for the country's policy, and the government is responsible for the government's policy, except in these 2 areas, foreign policy and defense policy. So the president, in order to be able to do whatever he or she wants, really need to have the backing. And that will be the problem for these 2 candidates tonight, because none of them as really a party which has been in power. The 2 parties which have shared power since 1958 in the Fifth Republic are not present in the second one. It's never happened before. It's an unprecedented situation.